American Rugby Rundown. So last week the U.S. beat Chile in the America's Rugby Championship, and this weekend they're going up against Brazil in Brazil, which is super cool. It's going to be the U.S.'s first game not at home, and expect the U.S. to do really well against Brazil. Brazil has not yet won a game in this tournament, and the U.S. have won all three, or they've tied one and won the other two. And so expect that to be really good, and expect a lot of new players to play. The lineup has come out, and there's a lot of new names and a lot of new combinations of players that haven't played together in a particular position. So it's going to be really exciting, especially in the forward pack. We've got Eric Fry is returning, but as a reserve. So Oli Khalifi, he is the captain, and he's going to be at prop. And so lots of new forwards playing this weekend, and it's going to be really exciting to see how they can do. And the reason that we have so many new players is that Brazil is not that good of a team. So we're really going to try to have all sorts of different combinations with who's playing with who, and try different types of game strategy and who we can rely on in future games to come as a reserve or even as a starter if they do really well. So that game is Saturday. It's going to be on ESPN3, which is online at 3 o'clock Pacific time or 6 o'clock Eastern time. I'm not going to be able to watch it. I'm going on a camping trip, so somebody should totally rip it offline, then post it to YouTube. Don't tell them I said that. Anyways, so watch it if you can. ESPN3, 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern time. It's going to be really good. I expect the Eagles to play really well against Brazil. The women just finished their tournament in San Paulo, and they did really well. From their previous tournament, getting second to last, to this tournament they got fourth, and that bumped them up in the rankings to 8th. So they did really well. It's been obvious that the time off was much needed. They had some good scrimmages. They got some good key players. Huge improvement in San Paulo, going from second to last to 4th. Now in the rankings they're at 8th. Expect continued improvement and continued good results. Their next stop is in Atlanta, and that's not until April. And so the last thing I want to talk about in this video is that there's been a lot of comments about the match against Argentina and how Argentina did not start their best 15 or even have their best lineup possible. And neither did the U.S. And so they're kind of discrediting the U.S.'s tie with Argentina because Argentina didn't have their best players. But the U.S. didn't necessarily have their best players either. And so here's the thing. Argentina is not playing to lose. They want to win. Even though the matches against Argentina don't count as international test matches, Argentina still wants to be seen as a tier 1 team. And so for them to tie the U.S., that was not their goal. They're playing to win. They're playing to gain respect internationally. So I totally understand and get that a lot of people realize oh, Argentina didn't play their best 15. But neither did the U.S., and Argentina still wants to win. This is a very important tournament for these 6 nations to really show that, hey, we're legitimate competition. We're getting legitimate competition. We're improving. And look at us, the rest of the world. So Argentina's playing to win. They probably overestimated who they had played, and they probably underestimated the U.S. So it wasn't the result that they wanted. I'm sure if they played their best 15 against our best 15, it'd be a different story. But they still put forth a 15 that they thought would get the job done. So I think that's just more credit to the U.S. than it was discredit to Argentina. So that's all for this week. How do you think the U.S. will do against Brazil? I think we're all expecting a really good victory. Exciting about the U.S. women's sevens team, doing a lot better. How do you think about the rest of the tournament, or this tournament as a whole? How has it gone? The U.S. is doing really well. How do you think it's been as a tournament? Like, comment, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter, and I will see you next week.